Well, hello, this is Mike Jacko with Minria with another Flip It Friday video tip for you guys. And last week we were talking about earnest deposits and deposit money, and I briefly mentioned liquidated damages. So this week I wanted to cover what liquidated damages is and what it means and how it pertains to the earnest money deposit on a purchase and sales agreement. So liquidated damages is basically if you have a contract and you put down the earnest money, and if for some reason you don't close and you're not using a clause like a financing contingency or an inspection contingency or some other type of a escape clause to get out of the contract, you simply just don't close on the property, then the seller is limited to the liquidated damages on the contract so long as you have a liquidated damages clause. Now, all contracts have a liquidated damages clause, whether you have one built into it or not. Because if you don't have one built in, then the state is going to have a default one. And the state's is usually, if you ever had to get to court on it, the state's is going to probably be a lot stricter than you care for it to be. But if you have a decent escape clause or a liquidated damage clause in your contract, then that's usually going to be fine. So you're limited to whatever you put down for your earnest deposit. So how much should you put down for an earnest deposit? And we also talked about the fact that the minimum earnest deposit is going to be $1 or other good and valuable consideration. So one more caveat to the liquidated damages clause is if you don't put down any money or anything of any value, then the liquidated damages clause is null and void. Whether you have one or not in your contract, it will not apply. And so you're now open to a lawsuit, which could be referred to as a specific performance lawsuit, which means it could try and force you to buy the property. If you can't qualify for the mortgage, can't come up with the financing, obviously they're not going to be able to get you to close on it because you just can't perform. However, it would tie you up in the court system because you don't have a liquidated damages clause. So review your liquidated damages clause. Make sure you at least got one in there that the seller is limited to whatever you put down for the earnest money in the event that you breach the contract and don't go to closing and don't get out of it because of some other inspection contingencies or something like that. So with that, we'll see you guys next week.